My name is Michael. I'm 42 years old, and this is the most important story I will ever tell. I'm a father of two, married for 15 years to Anna, and I work as a history teacher at a public school. I've always been an ordinary person, with ordinary doubts, ordinary fears, and a faith I'd say was more cultural than deeply lived. I went to church occasionally, prayed before meals, but God was more a distant idea than a real presence in my life. Until the day everything changed. I shared this testimony not to convince anyone of anything, but because I know there are people who need to hear that life has purpose, that we are loved beyond our comprehension, and that death is not the end. If my story touches at least one heart, if it brings hope to at least one person who is giving up, then it's worth telling. What I'm about to relate happened 3 years ago. Some details remain crystal clear in my memory, as if they happened yesterday. Others are more like impressions, feelings that transcend words. I'll do my best to translate into human language an experience that was beyond human. I never imagined my life would change completely on an ordinary Tuesday in March. It was a day like any other, or so I thought when I woke up that morning. The sun came through my bedroom window with that golden light that always made me grateful for another day. I had my coffee, said goodbye to my family with a hurried kiss, and left for work. Nothing, absolutely nothing indicated that this would be the most important day of my existence. The accident happened on the way. I won't go into technical details about brakes, speed, or impact. What matters is that, in an instant, everything changed. I remember the sound, that deafening noise of metal against metal, glass shattering, muffled screams. And then, silence. A silence so deep, it seemed to swallow all existence. It was in that silence that everything began. I felt no pain. That's something I need to make clear from the start. Where before there was the chaos of the accident, now there was only inexplicable peace. I looked down and saw my body. It was there, motionless, surrounded by people running back and forth, paramedics shouting commands, someone was crying, but I couldn't feel fear. It was as if that scene no longer belonged to me. Then I realized I was rising. It wasn't like flying. It was something more subtle, more natural, as if my being simply belonged to another plane and was finally returning home. The accident scene became smaller beneath me, and I felt a force pulling me up, forward, to somewhere I couldn't name but recognized deeply. The light appeared gradually. It wasn't a blinding light, it was a revealing light. It began as a soft glow on the horizon of my consciousness and grew, becoming more intense, more alive, more real than anything I had ever experienced. And within that light, there was love. Not sentimental or romantic love, but love in its purest essence. A love so vast that it contained the entire universe, so personal that it knew every fiber of my being. When I fully entered that light, I understood I was in God's presence. There was no doubt, no questioning. It was an absolute certainty that transcended any need for proof or explanation. And God was not a distant figure on a throne of clouds. God was total presence, infinite consciousness, limitless love. He didn't speak with words. Communication happened directly in my soul, clearer than any conversation I'd ever had. And the first thing I perceived was that He knew me. He knew every thought I'd ever had, every mistake I'd made, every moment of joy and sorrow. He knew the parts of me I hid from others, the wounds that never healed, the dreams I never told anyone. And despite all of this, or perhaps because of it, He loved me completely. It was then that my life began to unfold before me. It wasn't like watching a movie. It was reliving, feeling again each moment, but now with an expanded perspective. I saw my childhood, the moments of innocence and discovery. I saw the times I was cruel without realizing it, the harsh words I said that would hurt for years. But there was no condemning judgment. There was understanding and an opportunity to learn. What impacted me most was seeing the effect of my actions. Every small gesture of kindness created waves that spread in ways I never imagined. That time I smiled at a stranger in the elevator, I saw it change that person's entire day, someone who was contemplating giving up on everything. The money I gave to a charity years ago, I saw the children who were fed, the lives that were touched. But I also saw the opposite. The times I ignored someone who needed help, the opportunities to do good I let pass. And then God showed me something that changed everything. I saw moments of my future life, not the exact details, but the purpose, the essence of what I was destined to do. I saw people I hadn't met yet, but who would need me. I saw situations where my presence would make the difference between someone choosing hope or despair. I saw that my life wasn't accidental, wasn't meaningless. There was a plan, a purpose woven into the very fabric of my existence. God showed me I would be an instrument of healing, not necessarily physical healing, but emotional and spiritual healing. I saw that my own pains, my own struggles weren't in vain. They prepared me to understand others, to have genuine compassion, to be present in ways that would make a real difference. I saw that every person who would cross my path wouldn't be a coincidence. Every conversation, every encounter would be an opportunity to reflect a bit of that light I was experiencing now. But there was more. God showed me my purpose wasn't grandiose in the world's eyes. I wouldn't be famous, wouldn't have crowds following me, wouldn't build empires. My purpose was in the small things, in sincere conversations, in acts of kindness, in being present when someone needed it. I saw that the world doesn't need more superheroes. It needs people willing to love consistently, to serve silently, to shine with a soft but constant light. In that moment, I understood something fundamental. Everyone has a purpose. Every life is a unique note in the great symphony of existence. There are no small or insignificant lives. Every person who has ever lived or will live has an irreplaceable role to play. And my role, my specific purpose, was to be a bridge, connecting people to God through simple and authentic love. I asked, without using words, how I would know what to do. The answer came immediately. Listen, love, be present. The rest I'll take care of. It was so simple it seemed impossible. But there in that presence, I understood it was exactly that. There were no complex formulas, no complicated rules. Life's purpose is to love as God loves, unconditionally, without judgment, with total acceptance. Then God showed me something that left me speechless, even in that state of pure consciousness. He showed me how much He suffers with us. Every human tear, every pain, every moment of despair, He feels it all. Not as a distant observer, but as if each of our wounds were His own wound. I saw that God doesn't cause suffering, but walks through it with us. And I saw that often when we think God is absent, He's more present than ever, sustaining us in ways we don't perceive. I also realized many of my prayers had been answered, just not in the way I expected. That job I didn't get, it was protection from something that would have destroyed me. That relationship that ended, it opened the way for something much better. The doors that closed were redirections, not rejections. God was always working in my favor, even when I couldn't see it. It was then that He gave me a choice. I can go back, I can continue, or I can stay. There was no pressure, no urgency. It was completely my decision. If I stayed, it would be total peace, unimaginable joy, reunion with everyone I'd ever loved. If I went back, it would be struggle, pain, challenges, but it would also be opportunity. Opportunity to live the purpose that had just been revealed to me. Opportunity to make a difference. Opportunity to love. I thought of my family. I saw my wife, still unaware of what had happened. I saw my children growing up without a father. I saw the friends I would leave behind. But more than that, I saw all those people who would still need me. I saw the conversations we hadn't had yet, the moments of healing that hadn't happened yet, the seeds of hope I hadn't planted yet. The decision was difficult. How to choose between perfect paradise and imperfect life. But then I understood. Choosing to return wasn't rejecting paradise. It was embracing purpose. It was saying yes to the mission I'd been entrusted with. And paradise would always be there, waiting, when my work here was complete. "I'll go back," I said without words. And I felt God's approval, love, encouragement. There was no disappointment, only celebration. Because I had chosen love, chosen to serve, chosen to live purposefully. Before returning, God gave me gifts. Not material gifts, but spiritual gifts. A deeper understanding of love, an increased capacity to feel others' pain, an unshakable certainty that I'm never alone, and a clear mission. Live each day as if it were sacred. Treat each person as if they were Christ in disguise. And never, never forget that life is precious and full of purpose. The return was quick and painful. In an instant, I was back in my body. Pain came like a wave, flooding every nerve. I heard voices shouting, "He's back! We have a pulse!" I opened my eyes and saw unfamiliar faces looking at me with relief. I tried to speak, tried to tell them what I'd seen, but words wouldn't come. Only tears. Tears of gratitude, of joy, of understanding. The following days in the hospital were difficult. Physical recovery was slow and painful, but spiritual recovery, instantaneous. I was no longer the same person. I couldn't be. How to return to normal after experiencing the extraordinary. How to live a mediocre life after knowing your divine purpose. I told my experience to few people at first. Some believed immediately, their eyes shining with recognition as if they'd always known there was more. Others were skeptical, looking for scientific explanations, talking about lack of oxygen in the brain and hallucinations. I didn't care. I knew what I had experienced. No scientific explanation could take away the certainty I carry in my soul. Since then, I live differently. Every morning I wake with gratitude. Every person I meet is an opportunity to fulfill my purpose. Every challenge is a chance to grow. I stopped worrying about small things. I stopped living on autopilot. I started really living. Present, intentional, purposefully. My purpose? It's simple, but profound. It's truly listening when someone speaks. It's being present when someone needs it. It's offering love without conditions, without judgment. It's being a soft light in dark places. It's reminding people they matter, that their lives have meaning, that God loves them unconditionally. I don't build cathedrals, don't perform visible miracles, don't have thousands of followers, but I have real conversations with real people. I hear stories no one else has heard. I cry with those who cry, laugh with those who laugh, and in each of these moments, I see a reflection of that light I experienced. Because God isn't just in heaven, He's here, now,
in every act of genuine love. There are difficult days, of course. Days when physical pain reminds me of the accident. Days when I doubt, when I wonder if it really happened or if it was just a dream. But then something happens. An unexpected conversation, a moment of deep connection, an opportunity to serve, and I know it's real. The purpose is real, and I'm exactly where I should be, doing exactly what I was created to do. If you're reading this, know your life also has purpose. You're not here by accident. Every breath is an opportunity. Every day is a gift. And God, this God of infinite love I encountered, is closer to you than you imagine. You don't need a near-death experience to discover your purpose. Just listen. Look around you. Ask. And when the answer comes, and it will come, have the courage to live it. My experience taught me that death is not the end, but life also isn't just a wait for death. Life is the opportunity to love, to grow, to serve, to shine. And each of us carries within a unique light that the world needs to see. God showed me the purpose of my life that day between life and death, but I realized He's showing purpose to each of us every day in 1,000 different ways. The question isn't whether we have a purpose. The question is, are we paying attention? Are we listening? Are we willing to live according to what we were created for? I chose to return. I chose to live. I choose every day to fulfill the purpose that was revealed to me. And I can say with all certainty, there's no fuller life than a life lived with purpose. No greater joy than knowing you're doing exactly what you should be doing. No deeper pace than resting in God's love. This is my testimony. This is my story. And it continues to be written one day at a time, one act of love at a time, one moment of purpose at a time.